Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're exploring some of the most valuable and rare coins from the UK are the two new pence coins from the 70s. These coins are worth far more than their face value, and you might have one hiding in your collection. Let's dive in. First up, we have the rare 1975 two new pence coin. This one can fetch an astounding $3,000 in good condition if you're lucky enough to find one. So, what makes this coin so special? Well, this coin was part of a batch that was never meant to be in circulation in the first place. Let me explain. In the mid-1970s, the United Kingdom was in the middle of a major currency transition, moving from the old imperial system to the new decimal system. The Royal Mint was busy introducing new coins to replace the old shillings, florins, and pence. Among these new coins was the two new pence, which was intended to replace the 2-shilling coin. And, of course, with a new coin, they also needed a fresh design. The new design for the two new pence coin, created by the renowned engraver Arnold Machin, was meant to feature a simplified image of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. The reverse depicted a design of two interlocking shapes, which symbolized the idea of the decimalization process itself. However, what no one expected was that a batch of coins in 1975 was struck using the old dies for the 2-shilling coin, which was still in circulation at the time. As you can see here, the 1975 two new pence coin struck with the wrong dies bears a striking resemblance to the older 2-shilling coins. The design on the obverse is much more detailed than what was intended for the new two new pence. This was a huge mistake, and as soon as the Royal Mint realized what had happened, they quickly pulled these coins from circulation. However, the Royal Mint couldn't retrieve all of the coins in time, and some of these misstruck 1975 two new pence coins made it into public hands. These coins were never meant to be in circulation, and because of the error, they became incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The value of these coins skyrocketed because of their rarity. Since only a small number of the 1975 coins with the wrong dies ended up circulating, it's a huge find for any coin collector who happens to come across one. And this rarity has made the 1975 two new pence a true treasure in the numismatic world. A coin like this can be worth up to $3,000 at auction, depending on its condition and how well it's been preserved. Of course, the value depends on the coin's condition. While these rare coins can fetch incredible amounts in top condition, even those with some wear and tear can still be valuable. The key is knowing how to spot one and understanding just how significant this error was. If you're lucky enough to find a 1975 two new pence coin with the misstruck design, you might want to consider getting it appraised by a professional numismatist or taking it to an auction. Rare coins like this tend to go for serious money, especially when collectors are on the lookout for these unique pieces of history. Next up is the extremely rare 1982 new pence coin, which can be worth around $1,000 or more in top condition. You might think, 1980? That's not so long ago, right? But here's where it gets interesting. There was a significant minting error with these coins. The 1982 new pence coin is rare due to a few key factors. First, the design is slightly different compared to other years. The obverse of the coin, which shows the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, was supposed to have a much clearer and more distinct image of the Queen. But what happened next is what really sets these coins apart from the rest. Due to a flaw in the production process, some of the 1982 new pence coins were struck with a poorly executed die. The result? What we call weak strikes. Now, when a coin is struck with a weak die, the design isn't as sharp, and the details are less defined. For example, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which is usually crisp and clear, ended up looking somewhat faded and indistinct. This gives the 1982 new pence coin a very distinctive look, something that's easy for experienced collectors to spot. At first glance, this might seem like a small detail, but it made a huge impact on the value of these coins. The weakness in the strike made certain coins stand out from others, and once collectors caught wind of the flaw, they quickly realized that these weakly struck coins could be a real treasure. Not every 1982 new pence coin exhibits this error, which is why finding one in decent condition is so rare. Now, let's break down why these coins are so valuable. A well-struck 1982 new pence coin is worth a few pence, but the ones with the weak strike errors, those can fetch anywhere from $500 to $1,000, and in some cases, even more if they're in excellent condition. The rarity of these coins, combined with the fact that they're still in relatively good condition after all these years, makes them incredibly appealing to numismatists. When we say condition, we're talking about the level of detail that's still visible. A well-preserved 1980 coin with a weak strike will show more of the Queen's portrait and finer details, even though it's faded. These small variations are key indicators of how much the coin might be worth. Coins that are in mint condition, with the portrait clearly visible and the coin free from wear and tear, will always command the highest prices. But how can you tell if your 1982 new pence coin is one of the rare weak strike errors? It's not always easy to spot, but there are a few things to keep an eye out for. The most noticeable feature is the Queen's portrait on the obverse of the coin. If it appears faint, with less definition than usual, then you might have a rare piece on your hands. Collectors often look for other signs, too, like worn edges or misalignments. But the primary feature that distinguishes these rare coins is that soft, almost faded image of the Queen. The rarity of this error makes them a real find, and over the years, many 1982 new pence coins with this defect have been sold for impressive sums. So, if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 1982 new pence coin with that faint, weak strike, make sure you hold on to it. It could just be your ticket to a small fortune. Remember, it's all about how rare and well preserved the coin is. A little wear and tear won't hurt, but the clearer the details, the higher the value. Keep an eye out for this hidden gem. You never know what treasure might be waiting in your change. Now, let's talk about the rarest and most valuable of them all, the 1971 2 new pence coin. This little gem can be worth up to $5,000 or more, depending on its condition. You might be wondering, what's so special about the 1971 coin? Let me tell you. In 1971, the United Kingdom introduced the 2 new pence coin as part of the country's decimalisation process. Before this, the UK used the old imperial system of pounds, shillings, and pence. But with decimalisation on the horizon, a new currency system was being introduced, and coins like the 2 new pence were minted to replace the older shilling coins. The 1971 2 new pence coin was part of a dramatic shift in British coinage. This was the moment when the old imperial system of currency was replaced by a decimal system. The new 2 new pence coin was designed to make everyday transactions simpler, and its design featured a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, with a reverse that symbolized the new decimal currency. At first, everything seemed pretty standard, but that's where things took an unexpected turn. A very small number of these 1971 2 new pence coins were struck with a special design error that makes them incredibly valuable today. You see, most of the 1971 coins were struck with a high level of precision, as was expected. However, a small batch was struck with an off-center die. This caused a unique misalignment that's easy to spot, where the design was not perfectly centered, creating a coin that was noticeably out of alignment. Normally, coins are designed to be perfectly circular, with all of the design elements properly aligned and centered. But with these off-center 1971 coins, the image of Queen Elizabeth II was slightly shifted to one side, making the coin look distinctly different from the norm. This off-center misalignment is a key feature that collectors are always on the lookout for. The off-center misalignment is incredibly rare, and most of these coins were caught before they ever made it into circulation. The Royal Mint realized the error, and as a result, many of the misstruck coins were discarded. However, some of them managed to slip through the cracks and made it into the hands of the public. And that's where the rarity and the value come in. This small number of 1971 coins with the off-center die error became highly sought after by collectors. Because of how few of these coins were ever released into circulation, they are now considered one of the most valuable British coins available today. If you happen to come across one of these misstruck coins in good condition, you could be holding onto a treasure worth upwards of $5,000, depending on its level of preservation. The value of these coins is primarily determined by how well the coin is preserved and the degree of the misalignment. Coins that are in excellent condition, with sharp details and a noticeable off-center design, can command a premium price at auction. As you can imagine, the rarity and history behind these coins only add to their allure among numismatists and collectors worldwide. So there you have it. The 1980, 1975, and 1971 two new pence coins are some of the most expensive and rare coins in British numismatics today. Whether it's due to a minting error, a unique design flaw, or just being part of history, these coins have captivated collectors and are highly prized. So, the next time you find yourself looking through old change, keep your eyes peeled, you just might stumble upon a treasure worth thousands. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on more amazing coin stories. Have you ever found a rare coin? Drop a comment below and share your story with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.